Yeah, same here. Nice to see you too, Mr. Richmond.
Yeah.
How about just a quick one before we do we keep our things muted, right? That's the easiest way, and we shouldn't be worried about the echo.
Yeah, but then would
All right,
just that works. That works. That
great,
works.
thanks.
Okay. It's 1 p.m. and we're starting. We're getting right into it. So, hello everyone. My name is Rizalab Ababedu. Good afternoon to you. Today on In the Box, episode 1, 2025, we're looking forward to having an amazing time today. Let me go quickly into introducing our guest speakers for this webinar. We start with Richmond. Would like you to say something about yourself, introduce yourself for our attendees, our beautiful and lovely attendees to get to know you personally. The floor is yours, Richmond.
Thank you very much, Alba. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us in this In the Box Knowledge Series. My name is Richmond Kennedy Kwaku. I'm a merchant navy officer by profession. I used to work on ships moving cargo from port to port. And for the last 7 years, we've been working with the NGO Plastic Punch, where we use citizen science to inspire behavioral change, data driven and evidence based approach in terms of advocating for reduction in single use plastics, promoting reusable concepts, promoting the circular economy and towards environmental protection, with some touch of innovation and technology. I look forward to this panel, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Richmond. That was lovely. Thank you so much. And we're so happy to meet you. We are so happy and we are inspired about you and what you're doing. Yeah. Now move on to Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Would like that you introduce yourself for us to get to know you more.
Hi, Rhoda. Thank you very much. And good afternoon to everyone on the call. So basically, my name is Jennifer Bampo, graduate from the University of Ghana and an accountant. But then I love the ocean, and I would say that I'm the founder of Clean Ocean Project Ghana, a youth-led organization with our vision of having a sustainable coastal ecosystem. So from 2021 till now, we've been having several beach cleanup exercises just to make sure that we reduce the amount of plastics found in our ocean and also educate people on the need to help to protect our ocean, because just imagine if the ocean takes up like 70% of the earth, then
Time,
there's
yeah.
a need to protect, I mean, the ocean. Yeah. So thank you very much, and I am glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Moving on to Abdul. Hello, Abdul. We'd like to hear from you.
Hi, hi everyone. I am Abdul Muniro. I'm a National Data Society developer working integrating business knowledge, carrying communication. Yeah, I am a marketing and environmental stewardship. Really, I work on issues like sustainability, climate change, loss and damage, amplifying voices, and also advocating for community-led initiative. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Abdul. Um, Quick technical thing. I think you would have to check in your microphone again because we'd like to hear a lot from you, and there's a lot of glitches in it. So if you could just like quickly, check it in and do one or two adjustments, we really appreciate it. Now, this session promises to be so insightful. The title, as you already know, is Ocean Health: Nurturing a Resilient Coastal Economy. It's a very popular topic, about coastal, the whole coast and everything related to some coastals, right? So now we just want to talk about the very major things related to that. We're going to get technical real soon, but then we hope that by the end of this session, we would have taken a lot from, we would have been able to be impacted a lot, and would have been able to demystify all the aspects of coastal health and ocean health in general. So we're moving on. We want to start with Richmond. Yes, I am personally impressed by your portfolio, what you've done, and what you're actually embarking on. It's so inspiring. Now, I want to ask a question. What would you say are the most pressing threats when it comes to ocean health in Ghana and even in Africa? The most pressing health.
Well, thank you very much for that question. That's a tough one.
Yes.
Um, I'll start by saying Ghana, Africa is really blessed and very rich in flora and fauna. Um, Most of our communities have their livelihoods really dependent on these coastal communities, and these are traditional occupations, and there's the need to protect that legacy and the economic livelihood of a lot of these communities. Um, that being established, we have not really done well in protection of this ecosystem. There are several threats, which include marine pollution. There are big issues of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, IUU. Um, there are a few cases of oil spillage and other forms of marine pollution, chemical pollution. We are aware of Galamsey as well in Ghana, where we have all these heavy metals seeping its way into the ocean environment. And then in the end, this is all going to be part of the ecosystem for fishes. We feed on these fishes. Um, and it is very horrible and in a deplorable manner. One topic which is really close to us is the protection of sea turtles. At the NGO, our Plastic Punch, we work in protecting these sea turtles on our coastline. Ghana is home to endangered species of these sea turtles. We started our action by finding 5 dead turtles out of 6 on the turtle monitoring session. So that tells you that yes, rich in flora, um, endangered species we have on our coastline. That could be a really big part of ecotourism, and it is very
Which we'll
important
get
that
into this
we
very soon.
exactly it's very important that we pay attention more to these threats that we have and see how we can have the opportunities out of that.
Amazing.
Thanks.
So would you actually say that that is probably one of the major initiatives that moved you to actually pursuing this? Just trying to be a blockade to the ocean threats that we find ourselves in as a country.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. We have a lot of. I mean, I forgot to mention the touristic potential or the amount we generate as a country from the touristic sector. And of course, most of this is with the interaction with the ocean, being it from the historical side, with all these forts and ports, or going with general pleasure and leisure on these beaches. So it is really a critical uh, sector that we should pay attention to, especially because we have more land at sea than in country, looking at our exclusive economic zone, which is part of our national territory. Yeah.
Amazing, Richmond. Thank you so much for the insight. And I believe that everyone listening is taking so much notes what Richmond is saying. He's really enlightening us about everything that it literally triggered the urge to advocate for ocean health, everything that triggered the urge to advocate for ocean health. And we look forward to talking about that more. Now, moving on to another aspect we would like to tackle, and I'll direct it to Jennifer. Yes, direct it to Jennifer. Now, I want to ask, what would you say are some of the successful marine conservative schemes that has been impacted, over the years? It can even be about your company or your organization. What are these successful schemes that has been impacted?
Hello, Rhoda. I could hear you, but then it's a bit far, so I'd appreciate if you could speak louder a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, what I was asking, is it better now?
Yes, it is.
It's better. Okay. So what I was asking was, what would you say are some of the most successful schemes when it comes to ocean conservation? What are these initiatives that have been taken that you would say that are successful or have been successful in the course of the year? And it can be about your organization or any reference to exact, because I know that's what you do. So yeah.
Okay, so um, I would not say you mentioned that you've been successful, but then um, I would want to start from this aspect.
Okay.
Yes, we have a lot of organizations, both NGOs. I mean, we have CSOs. We have some government initiatives like the CSIR, that is the Water Research Institute. I mean, on programs like cleaning the ocean in Jamestown, so on and so forth. In our quest to make sure we help contribute to protecting our ocean, indeed we had people with a lot of initiative. We've not been able to achieve what we want to achieve though, because it's a huge stretch that we are contributing towards to, I mean, protecting the ocean. Yeah. So I would say I know Plastic Pond. Yeah, I mean doing a lot. And I know Clean Ocean Project Ghana, and I mean organizing, I mean, several beach cleanup exercises with over 800 students across our oceans, both in the Greater Accra region and outside the Greater Accra region, that is Winneba Central region and the Volta region to be specific. Yeah, so I mean, these are some of the organizations that I know are working within the space. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. So would you say that it's actually one of the best initiatives? I want you to advocate. I want you to recommend it to the youth out there. I just think this is an opportunity to just showcase our passion for the ocean, and then know what they have to do when it comes to that. So what would you say to the attendees and to the viewers?
Okay, so let me use an example. If we have a 200 container mill of, let's say, a garbage trash, okay, and for a year we keep disposing our waste in it, just imagine how overheaped the waste will be in it. Yeah. But then here lies the case that we have several NGOs within the years have done several beach cleanup exercise and helping to reduce the amount of waste that we found in our ocean. Okay, so it's one helping to prevent issues of biodiversity loss and helping with issues of climate change, so on and so forth. So yes, I would say it's a great initiative, and we would want to encourage all the youth out there, because it's not a one man something. It's a call to keep that we all have. We are making sure that we are protecting our environment for the generation now and generation yet unborn. So there's a need to have all hands on decks while we tackle these issues of environmental menace. Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. We need to really put them together to tackle them. That's very insightful. Thank you, Jennifer. Now, let's quickly go a little bit to ecotourism. Now, that's a very rampant issue in our current world. What would you say that what would you actually attest to when it comes to ecotourism playing a very important role in the whole sustainability, kind of thing when it comes to the ocean? I would ask Richmond to just take it, for himself. So it sounds like that. Yeah.
Oh, I okay. I take it then. All right. So when it comes to ecotourism, I think it is a very underserved industry. Despite the fact that there's been demonstrated successes in some initiatives, like my very good friend Akwesi, all the way in Cape 3 Point. There's so many touristic facilities on the coastline, and all these are doing very well. They are either adding an element of turtle protection to their work, and that also gives added value to their tourists or their patrons or people who patronize these facilities, that you are not only coming to a hotel to enjoy the beach, but also there's that leverage or that factor where you could be involved in sea turtle protection. So I really need to emphasize that Ghana is home to endangered species of turtles. And as we are aware, turtles are older than dinosaurs. So that tells us how important this species is on our coastline. But what do we find? We find these species usually dead, either with a propeller back or caught in a bycatch. But then I want to big up our fisher folks also who do release these turtles back into the ocean.
I personally have not seen a sea turtle in a long time. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I haven't. So like, that's totally true. Totally true.
No worries. On the next season, we'll take you to some of the hatchery projects,
Yeah, that
and
sounds great.
you could join releasing these turtles. But unfortunately, this ecosystem to end is faced with so much threat. There's issues of plastic pollution, which we find a lot on our beach cleanup campaigns. Sometimes you are cleaning, and then you see all these turtle hatchlings trapped in the trash, and then we need to try to release them. Sometimes you actually find them dead in different ages and sizes. The last time we were in Pampram for field trips, it was really beautiful to see close to one of the areas we were at, Coconut Point Hotel, where you technically see these turtles swimming. Well, it could be good, it could be bad. So that whole stretch is a turtle nesting beach. We saw them swimming beside the hotel because now there's been a new infrastructure development on the whole coastline where they put like all this brick, the sea defense, breakwater things. And what is causing is that, and this is sad, but that also is a way for us to leverage and see what the opportunity might be. Turtles come to the same spots where they are hatched. So if a turtle finds this spot at its home A, when it becomes a female turtle ready to hatch or lay eggs, it's going to come back to that same spot. What is happening now is now we are using our sea defense to block all these ancestral homes for these sea turtles. But they are smart, and it also serves as a way to have research and to research and to understand how these sea turtles are adapting to the new ecosystem that we have created for them. Not to say that it's a good thing, but it's good for us to understand more how they behave, and that would also go a long way to improve the ecotouristic potential on our coastlines.
So that means that from what you're saying, there's a very okay, no, a not so thin line between sea turtles and actually an ocean conservation. Sorry, it's just there's not a so thin line.
Exactly, exactly. And they play a very key role in the ocean ecosystem. I'll give a quick example, like the leatherback sea turtles. They eat all these jellyfishes. Now, these jellyfishes usually, when they are in the ocean, eat a lot of fish fingerlings. So, what will happen if they are not sea turtles? All these jellyfishes will be eating the fingerlings, and then we will have no fish.
Right?
So then, these sea
That's
turtles are like a natural check for nature.
yeah.
So beyond the ecotouristic, I mean, keeping the ocean balance, the ocean health, and everything alive, it is important that we pay attention to marine life as well.
So that's where Jenny, what do you think? Actually, I'm sorry, it's what do you actually think as well when it comes to ecotourism and the thing line between ecotourism and then ocean conservation? What do you also think about that?
So just 2 weeks ago, I paid a visit to three beaches within the Greater Accra region. Therefore, Jamestown and Labadi, Omanye, and later we settled at Station Sangoena. Actually, when we were starting Clean Ocean Project Ghana, the first place that we went was Station Sangoena. And when I got there, I was sad because the condition there, it's bad, it's worse. Okay. So one thing I realized is that there's been a heap of waste. I mean, across the beach, and you could see that it's been there for like a year. And I mean, the thing is getting tall, like my length. So just imagine the waste to my length. Okay. So, and one thing I told my other colleague was, if we had like a beach resort, people working along over there, okay, it will be like there would be stewards.
Of the
Okay,
ocean. Yeah.
so whilst you are working there, it is your responsibility to make sure that the place is clean. So you go to a place like Pampam, Golden Beach. One thing you realize, the place is clean, and it's so because they are working there. It's
Okay.
giving them a form of revenue. So it is their responsibility to, cater for the place. So if we have tourism across, going on across our coastal regions, it will be a form of environmental stewards, and this would help, save our ocean in that regard. Okay, because it's like when one person throws out a waste here and another person pass by, they add up. The third person does it, then we have more. But then if we have someone standing there, it will be difficult for you to litter. Or probably when you litter, the person is able to take that waste from there. So I believe we should encourage tourism across our coastal lines, because basically we've had people tempering the coastal zones already. Okay, and they are not taking care of the beaches. So why don't we assign, tourism in the form of these beach resorts, and we make sure that they are responsible to, protecting the ocean. Yeah. So I think this is what I would want to say about that as well.
Eventually leading to tourism. That's actually
Yes.
very insightful. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This session is going to get more technical. I hope we just like strap our belts on and just continue this. So now we're going to go a bit more governmental, right? We're going to talk about how policymakers can actually shaping the whole ocean health situation. Now, let me just follow up with this question. Would you say that the government is like really supporting this whole ocean health initiative? Do you think they're like, backing it as much as they should, or that's really the range of which the question is being asked. Let me give the floor to Abdul. Hello, Abdul. Okay, I think there's probably a technical issue. So, Richmond, why don't you do as the honest? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I like the question. I mean, the the government of Ghana, I would say, is signed up to a lot of really great or positive initiatives in terms of ocean protection. I know the Development Commission just came up with a sustainable ocean plan for Ghana. Marine conservation, marine spatial planning are also, and these elements of ocean protection are mentioned in our national determined contributions as a country. So yes, it is on priority as a nation. However, it's two things with whether we actually have a policy, which there is, and there's the drive and there's the interest. It's also another thing mobilizing the right finances to be able to implement um, all these directions or all these plans that we seek to have and achieve as part of our national determined contributions. We also are of an age where there's going to be a lot of, or we are already facing a lot of sea level rise, a lot of threats from the general climate situation, and also our human activities that impact most of these coastlines. Um, so yes, the in the general framework, the policy direction and everything is there, and that is good because then it gives a good baseline for attracting investment into these sectors. However, I think it is important to state the fundamental facts, which is linked to the ocean and not in the policy of ocean planning, that we still have very much ineffective waste management systems in this country. And that is really a big problem. It makes us run and chase after our tail every time. It is less expensive to prevent than to clean up. So I think, or what is happening now is we have a lot of our budgets reallocations when you listen to the budgets going into cleaning up, for which we actually don't really see the output or outcomes. Um, However, that same money could have gone into investment into some of these things that we are talking about. It would go into perhaps looking at different practices of fishing in some communities. Most fisher folks are not getting fish anymore. They are facing different threats. They have issues of illegal, unreported fishing. Like we said, we have foreign vessels fishing in our water. This means to solve this, we need to empower or put some investment into our Ghana Navy to protect our ocean space. We have issues of plastic pollution where in some communities where we serve, in Ada, in Prampram, in Dansoman, these fisher folks are catching more plastics than fishes. This is a livelihood threat. This is a threat to national security if we do not realize that already. This is a serious issue because according to the UN, this is supposed to be happening by 2050. We are in 2025 and we are seeing this already in Ghana.
It's cutting
That means we
slow.
really need to act fast and now. And I'm very disappointed at the rate at which we pretend as if this is not even an issue. Um, we have conducted a lot of studies with our folks from academia, with the UCC, with the marine fisheries, and also with the program we run, COISIN, which is building capacity in ocean sciences in Africa. And we realized there's a lot of microplastics in the fish samples we've collected. There's microplastics in the soil samples on our coastline. There's microplastics in the ocean. We've not done tests or run tests on humans, but if you are finding these things, then technically and naturally, we are going to find this in the human body. What are we telling ourselves? It means 5 to 10 years, we'll be reporting a lot of funny diseases in Ghana. We'll be getting a lot of cancer. And this goes to say that really we need to um, operationalize all these plans, and it should be backed by science and data. And we should take this thing seriously. It's not all about pegging the CD to the dollar and all these kind of funny macroeconomic deliverables that we set out for ourselves as a country and drive the conversation as citizens. I think these are more realistic issues which are straight at our doorsteps. Oko and Auntie Akwele are not getting fishes anymore. It is true. They catch more plastics than fishes. I don't know if you've seen fisher folks throw in their nets, how many hours they have to do that, how many hours they need to pull this fish or this net and come out with almost nothing. It is sad. It is sad, and I think we can generally do better as a country. And this is a call to all these policy actors on this issue, from Ministry of Environment to local governments to all the authorities also in charge of this, from the development to all stakeholders, really, municipal assemblies who are in charge of our beaches. I think this is something we should prioritize. We are losing livelihoods. 60% of the livelihood of our coastlines is dependent on the ocean. If you are stripping these 60% of their jobs and their livelihoods of everything they've known all over the years, then where are we heading? Where do we want to head? And I think, yes, there are the policy directions, and there's the opportunity to get a lot of donor funding because of this policy direction. But it is very important that we come clean, truthful, acting really fast and now towards these issues.
Wow, that's I couldn't agree more. That's so that's it actually. Whoa. Jennifer, can you also tell us what you think? What you'll be able to add on into what
Yeah, so
Richmond has
I'd
already
want to
said?
say this. I know Mr. Richmond has been in the space, I mean, far long before probably I joined. And one thing that I was crying about when I joined the space of climate change, the oceans, because I mean, I had no background in ocean. I joined just because of passion. Yeah.
Okay.
You realize that there are most conferences and it was targeted to the green, but then not the blue. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
you
was
understand
actually
me by
about
that.
to ask that. I was actually about to
Yes,
chip it
yes.
in
It
actually.
it was more about the green, everything green, everything
Yeah.
forestry, what. I was like, but then the earth, the ocean take about 70% of the earth. But then your focus is rather on the earth and you have neglected the ocean. It's just about, I think, 2 years ago, and they had this Blue Economy Summit. And last year, I saw the policy on that is the SOP. But then this is what I would want to say. Even in the chairs that we use in our various homes, at a point in time, you would realize that it's either the nails, it's going out, and there's a need to, refix it. Even if we have policies, they are old policies. Day in, day out, things are changing, and we keep on saying that the climate is changing. Everyone is at risk. One thing about climate change is it does not affect an individual, and it doesn't affect a country, neither does it affect a continent. It's a global thing. You understand? And one thing, I told my colleague that 70% or 80% of the carbon dioxide that we do emit into the environment, the ocean takes up all those carbon dioxide that we do emit. So indeed, policies are things that our governments, stakeholders are supposed to make sure that we have good policies that are protecting our ocean. Because here in Ghana or here in Africa, we have open access to our ocean. Everyone is doing what they do, everyone is doing what they want. You understand? It's like it's a no man's land. Okay, but then
Yeah.
if so, then it's not going to help, because
No.
if
No.
it's
Definitely.
open and everyone goes there, they do defecate, they
Yeah. They do
fish,
what
they
they want to
use
do, and yeah.
chemicals, they
Yeah.
are doing so on and so forth, and we have few policies that are checking these things, then we are not heading towards anywhere. It is high time we have assessment. We should revisit all those policies that were, initially written. If there's a need to readjust, that is why we should have monitoring and evaluation. Yes, when there is a policy and something is not right, we go back, we check, let's do adjust. Those that are not working, let's implement. We should learn from the global south, the global north, the things that they are doing that probably are helping their country. We cannot improve ocean health without neglecting policy. It is not done. So policy, it's one thing that our policymakers should, we should have good policies that would protect our ocean. That is what I would say.
Amazing. Thank you so much. But then, this is not really a technical question. But then, would you say that in a range of 10 years, maybe from 10 years ago to now, has the ocean issues actually increased? The ocean health, has it actually increased or it's decreased? Would you say that it's worked out for better or it's getting worse?
Oh no. Brother, you're in Ghana. Compare 10 years ago, when you visit the beach, and currently when you visit the beach. Can you tell us about the difference
That's
yourself?
visible. That's visible. Yeah.
1 minute.
She had to go. Okay. I think we lost Jennifer for a second. Okay, she's
Please, I'm
back.
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, per research, it's been noted that plastic, per the recent decade, we have produced plastic more than even the previous decade. And the ocean, it's kind of a natural sink for all waste. Okay. So just imagine if 10 years ago we're producing just like 50 plastics. Now it is not doubled, even it has tripled. Okay. And imagine our waste management system just even in Ghana. Okay. So it is not getting better, but then it's getting worse. You understand? That is why, one, we should focus on our policies, and two, we should focus on our waste management system in Ghana. Richmond mentioned earlier, our waste management system in Ghana, it's bad. Okay, so I think my big brother would want to add up. Yeah.
Okay. Brother Richmond.
Jennifer, thanks. Yeah, no, Jennifer did really mention some really critical things, and it's really it is sad to see. Just answering your question, how it's looking like 10 years ago. I grew up in Ghana. I used to. I remember growing up in Dansoman Estates. Every weekend we had on our beaches. Taking the dogs to the beach. It was so beautiful, man. Like there was a very long coastal shoreline with coconut trees, people sitting there having their private time. It was very beautiful. And this is like 15 years ago. As I speak to you, I've not been, the last time I was at the Dansuman Beach was like 7, 8 years ago. And not because I don't want to patronize it. It is because the last time I was there, I was in shock. All these illegal structures we have allowed on the beach, we have turned the coastline into a waste dump. And people living in down, someone would agree with me that nobody would go there to swim or do anything than its trashy nature we have given it to now. Same
That's correct.
concept for Nungwa at the Regional Maritime University when I schooled. When I was a student there 13, 14 years or even 12 years ago, we had a very clean beach. We were having barbecues on the beach and things like this. But now what do we see? And for us at Plastic Punch, we do collect data when we do these beach cleanups to understand who is polluting and what is polluting.
Okay.
Over the years, you realize there's additional level of new pollutants. When we did start, we are finding a lot of plastics like PET, LDP. These are like the sachet, the bottles. But these days, or since the last 3 years, we've been getting a lot of textile waste and things. So just to say that it's not only getting worse, we are getting additional levels or layers of trash.
Wow, that's
Um,
hyperbolic.
it, yeah, no, it is. It goes to tell that we have a lot of work to do, and that all of this is based to that baseline facts that we have ineffective waste management systems in this country. I don't know where you live, but if I ask you the waste management condition, how if they even say they are going to pick up every week, do they come every week? These kind of questions, if we want to go there, we
It's
would
a
all
whole
attest to
other.
ourselves that
Yeah.
there is a problem, and until that problem is solved, and that also requires a lot of diligence and a lot of really the willpower. Also against political will and corruption, because there's a lot of corruption in that space. If we can align our waste management systems, have improved waste management system, make it a standard for everybody. Not that Osu is managing their waste like this, and Jamestown is managing their waste like this, and
Yeah.
Dansoma is managing like this, East Legon is managing like this. It cannot work. Let's have free and fair contracting opportunities for all waste management companies, and let's
Yeah.
keep everybody at a standard and deploy all these contracts to work nationwide. Let's give this contract or the power of the contracts back to the municipalities as well to take care of their own trash rather than contracting waste management companies from the presidency. It cannot
Yeah.
work. It has never worked.
That's
And
never
since we
working.
took that method, it has never worked
Yeah.
compared to 10, 15 years ago when the municipalities were taking care of their trash. That is what we need to do, Sankofa.
Yanqing. I'm right, right? Okay. Now,
Richmond, you know something? You know something? I remember again 10 years ago, we had this thing. I think every month or during the weekends, we have people coming out to clean their environment, mostly when you go to the village. And it was nice. We have something called, is it the communal, is it communal labor? It wasn't
yeah, it was
something
a thing.
persuasive, okay, but
Yeah,
then everyone had this interest,
that's
that
true.
love of doing it. And we had this, is it town council something?
Yeah, town council.
So you would want to do it, but then I would want to ask these things, where are they? We cannot in our senses always attack the issue from the top, okay? Attacking these big folks, because sometimes we as individual, we are contributing to whatever that is going on. So the policy of, I mean, we having weekends cleanups in our homes, in our environments, coming together to make sure that we are safe. I think it's high time we do visit those ones, because it helped.
Yeah,
It
yes,
helped
definitely.
because those things are not there because of in quote civilization, and now our environment is getting worse. So it's high time we do visit all those activities, and I
Yeah,
believe it's
open
in
all
an
the
other
closed
form.
books.
It will
Yeah,
help us. Yeah.
definitely. Now, viewers, I would love that we drop in comments. When you want to share something, when you want to share an insight, you want to say a thing or two. The comments is actually open. The section is open. You can just drop in your views on what we're discussing. It's so insightful, and I'm really honored to moderate this. Now let's go. Let's talk money. Yeah, let's talk money. Let's talk finances. Now, most of our viewers are within the demographic of youth, right? So, how would you say that ocean health and this whole ocean conservation can actually generate funds for them, to survive and things? So, would you say that you would recommend, or would you advocate for that, and would it benefit entrepreneurs? Richmond, would like to hear from you.
Right. So that's a very good question, and I would say that it is true that since we started this call, we've been complaining a lot about the threats and the problems in the blue economy and the ocean space. But this is one thing which is true that where there are challenges, it serves as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And this opportunity can be leveraged into a business activity, anyhow you want to set it up, um, in the different types of LLCs that are available. But to say there are problems, whether in fisheries, whether in aquaculture, whether in coastal tourism, whether it's in environmental protection. Generally, these things we are talking about aligns really with the sustainable development goals, and this is like the biggest proposal in the world, if I can put it that way,
It's a big
or the
thing.
biggest action plan. And since most of these things we are talking about have components, even relating to more than one SDG, goes beyond climate change alone, life below water 14. It also has to do with partnership, no poverty, because we're talking about food and livelihoods for people. And we are talking also about sustainable responsibility and consumption. So just to say that, yes, there are problems, but if we put our mind to solving these, and I remember saying this at the Blue Invest Africa in Kenya, that we should never have the mindset that there is no money to start. There are so many innovative ways. There are so many institutions set out, like yourself at Botplay, that could be you could reach out to get advice if you don't even know how to start. For us at Plastic Punch, we started with a crowdfunding. Of course, it was a lot of friends and family, but also we got external donations, and we've been able to figure out our own model beyond that. So money is not an issue. You should not have the money to be able to start anything innovative. Our favorite rapper, Manifest did say that money don't bring good ideas bring money. There are problems. What is your good idea? Find a good idea, and in solving that, you are not only making profit, but you are also doing good job for people and planet. So there's a lot of opportunities in the space, and folks and young people especially should be on the lookout and tap into all this potential, and also be open to build their own capacity, whether in building capacity in these issues or in business development, etc. I mean, we all cannot know everything, and it's important to always adapt to the skills, to be competitive in this world that we find ourselves now.
Amazing. One remarkable thing you said, that where we see problems, we see opportunities. That's all of that. Now, Jennifer, what do you also think about it?
Hello, Rhoda.
Hey, Jennifer.
Please come in. I hardly hear you, please.
Wow. Okay, that's bad. So what I asked was that what do you also think to add on to what Richmond said about entrepreneurship and ocean conservation?
Okay, so this is it. I mean, money is good, finances are good, and health is good. If I need something from you, Rhoda, that's one thing I should make sure you have, that you are healthy.
Yes.
If you are healthy, I'm able to take a lot of things from you. But then when you are not in your right state, when you are not in your right mind, when you are not healthy, I am not sure when I need something from you, you could give it to me, right? Yes, so when we
Right.
have
Right.
healthy ocean, currently we have low catch. Okay, Richmond mentioned that they go for fishing and it's like 50-50,
Yeah.
50 plastics or 50 waste and 50% of your catch, or it's less. You understand? Okay, and this contributes to our economy. If we have good ocean, automatically it's going to increase or improve livelihoods of the people.
Yeah.
And if it improves the livelihood of the people, automatically it affects the country or the economy.
Mm.
But
Yes.
then if these people are complaining, automatically it has a way of deeping down or going down to affect the economy. You get it? Yes. And I would want to channel this thing to tourism. I think
Okay.
years ago, 2 years or last year, a lady came to Ghana, and unfortunately for her, they took her to Bola Beach. And this
Where's
lady
that? I have no idea.
videoed the place, and it was all over social media. So just
Oh,
imagine if someone would want to visit Ghana just because of the beauty, the serenity of our beach. And this video was sent to the person.
no, that's
It has a
wonderful.
way of, yes. Now you go to, I love the water region a lot because I mean, they have a word like, is it oxygen town or what? They have this in code something that they say. Yeah, you go to the
Mm,
Volta region and you have a lot of beautiful resorts with good serene. The environments are good.
I guess there are
If
very
someone
strict
is trying to
regulations.
visit Ghana and they have a view of these places, they move in and their money, yes, it has a way of contributing to our economy. So it is a side something.
Okay.
Ocean health and everything about ocean as a way of impacting our economy. That is why it is needful we pay attention to policies that would protect our environment.
Yeah.
Or let me say, no, I am for the ocean, so that protects the blue rather than we always trying to focus on the green and neglecting the blue. Yeah,
So there has to be a balance between the two because they go hand
yeah.
in hand. Amazing, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Now, so yeah, so there are opportunities for the entrepreneurs out there, those who want to venture into ocean health, other opportunities, because we are really all about the money. At the end of the day, yes, we love the sea, but we need to make some money as well. So yeah, would you say that it's there's an opportunity out there and that they can pursue it, they can reach out to venture builders, to advise them and to educate them onto what step to take when it comes to advocating for ocean health and also making some money out of it?
So, rather humbly, I'd want to say this. In Ghana, that's something we don't have, or I don't see it work. That is town planners or town planning.
Town
You
planning.
move outside Ghana and you see how the town is beautifully planned. Okay, even you visit their coastal regions and you see how it is beautifully planned. We have coastal zones. Even Kantamanto here in Ghana is a coastal zone. Okay, but then it's been neglected. I mean, everyone has intruded the place, and that is how we are just where we are today. It's high time we have town planners planning our let me say our coastal zones,
Okay, so that's like
because
a
if
new
we have
range of
good
opportunities for
good
the entrepreneurs and for
yes,
the young people. That's
yes,
actually something that we should look into
exactly,
them more. That's actually something to look into
exactly,
them more.
exactly.
Thank you, Jennifer, for this. I've actually never had to thought not to think about that, about town planners, and that's a very good insight as well. Now, this is the final session of this webinar. 1 hour came by so fast. Anyway, so this is the final session of the webinar, and I want to give firstly Richmond the floor for him to say what he has to say to the youth. You know, those that are watching the webinar, those that are being educated and being inspired. What's that thing up the top of your head you want to say? You want to empower? You want to educate? Whatever you like to say briefly. Thank you, Richmond.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. Um, I, 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 I really want to remind um, everyone listening, tuning in, and the youth out there that we are the ones we've been waiting for. Um, you can complain about issues. I mean, you can assume it's far away from you. But these issues we are talking about are real. They are happening now and fast. There are communities already getting affected by sea level rise. Um, there's energy deficiency issues. We can have a lot of power from all the strong waves that we are having. How are we leveraging these? We should have a broader mindset than only the traditional ways of exploring the ocean. Like mostly hear people talking about oil and gas and things like this. There are more sustainable ways of exploring ocean resources, and I think that we should be bold. Africa really needs to be bold.
Should be
We
bold.
need to be bold, yeah, to be able to venture into some of these investment portfolios and initiatives. Of course, we cannot achieve this if we do not have the right enabling environment. So this is to our policymakers,
Again,
green
mention
financing
policymakers.
folks. Yeah, our green finance folks. We need money, but of course, we need the policy framework to be able to set that enabling environment so that investor confidence is also there, and there's also some form of incentives for people in this space. I know there's a lot of um, accelerator programs, which is hosted by MEST, by the Ghana Climate Innovation Center, and a lot of different programs from time to time, both locally and internationally. I mean, these are platforms where people could test their ideas, get a lot of support and mentoring throughout the process to be able to elevate their solutions. This one will be a little bit controversial, but I gotta say it that we do have a mindset over here in Ghana that a lot actually around the world that there's a lot of brain drain, and that people are scared to share their initiatives or plans or whatever they are thinking to other people in the industry before testing it or making it foolproof. I think it's very important to let people be
Definitely.
aware
Definitely.
of or discuss with other players who you feel you can trust on some of the plans that you or projects that you wish to roll out. It is true that perhaps the person has thought of it already, or perhaps they also want to do something like that. I don't think we should be bothered about people stealing our ideas
No.
because there's something we always say over here that I mean, you might know the end goal, or you might know the game plan, but you don't know the end game. I
Yeah.
mean, you might have the idea of concept of what is supposed to be done, but you might not know the end game. But what is important is to no man is an island. We need to be able
Yeah.
to garner that enabling environment from the policy direction. We need to be able to create an enabling environment where there's access to finance resources. There's the Youth Environment Authority, no, Youth Employment Authority. There's all these authorities and state institutions under the youth. It will be great
Definitely.
that more of these innovation. There's also a sector for innovation now. I saw
Yeah.
which is devoid of MEST, previously the Ministry of Environment. There's a sector for youth and innovation. It will really be great that, and also this will go a long way to prove how serious the government is
Yeah. To ensure. Yeah.
to improve livelihood of the youth, who are most of the population. It will be great to see more finance for the youth, so that the youth are able to venture into these things rather than always looking for money from outside of Ghana, from development partners, counting on donor support, which has been the trend to develop our own country. I think it's a very embarrassing one. I'm not saying we are not grateful to all partners and supporters, but it would really be great that the taxpayers' money is used and invested in the youth in this direction so that the youth are confident enough to explore to the maximum in attempting to solve these issues that we are speaking about. So, yes, all in all, to conclude, we need a enabling environment, we need collective action. But what is also very important is for us as the youth, and especially being affected by these issues, whether we like it or not, to be bold in demanding for the policies that are required. Example, we are working on banning problematic plastics in Ghana with a multi-stakeholder platform, a lot of different partners on board.
Amazing.
Gaio, there's the Ghana National Action Partnership leading the charge, having all of us under a stakeholder platform. We are working on extended producer responsibilities. We currently are working on a project which is historic in Ghana with the support of GIZ. And I think I should mention this to inspire people that we're currently working on a project where we are getting the major supermarkets to sign a voluntary pact. And this would mean that anytime you go to a supermarket next time, when we start implementation, if you do not bring your reusable bag, you are going to be paying 50 pesos for every single use plastic that they give to you. This will encourage people to have more or bring their own reusable bags to the supermarket, just like it's done in Europe and in other countries. So, I mean,
Oh,
this we have some signatories on the path. It will be in full-fledged implementation by April in your favorite supermarkets. So this is to say that yes, and why I say this is when we started this initiative, we had a lot of people telling us, yeah, this works in other places, but it will never work in Ghana.
yeah.
No, we are a nation. I think we are
It can work.
level-headed
It
thinking
can. I
people.
mean, yeah.
Um, I think there's so much access to information lately that we should demystify that mindset of things that cannot work over here. Thank you for your attention and
Thank
having
you,
us
Richmond,
again.
for so much. Thank you so much as well. Now, Jennifer, how about you also say something out there to the youth? Yeah, in relation to your field, and it's of course it's so inspiring. Ocean Health Ghana project is so inspiring. It's inspiring a lot of youth out there. So, what would you also say to the youth out there?
Yeah, so I think before we started, I mentioned that I'm an accountant. Okay, so I didn't
Yeah,
do anything about the climate, so I didn't do anything about ocean or what. It's just passion. Okay, because whatever we are doing now, if you like it or not, has a way of affecting the future. You know, our forefathers had this mindset that whatever they do, they should leave something for generation yet unborn. It's sad that currently our generation we are cruel and we are greedy. Okay, we want to eat everything today. And if you are eating everything today, what would you leave for the next generation? You know, it is high time that we as youth we come together and stay away from activities that are not helping the environment. Because if you throw your waste in the ocean, automatically it comes back to you. One way or the other, it will vomit it to you. It's trying to say something. Okay, it's trying to say something. So everyone out there, it is high time that we prioritize our environment, we prioritize our ocean.
I mean, yeah,
It should be
whether you are
something
in a
that
field
deliberately
or
will
not,
do.
yeah, exactly.
No, exactly,
Yeah, whether
exactly.
it's
You
your
know, it
field
will
or not.
amaze you that someone walks by the roadside, drink water,
And
whether
just
someone is
destroy
standing
it.
or not, they'll just
Yeah,
leave it there like that. You ask, I've encountered this thing several, and they'll tell you who you're by, you can't tell me what to do. You are a lady and you can't tell me what to do. But then the mindset is not working.
yeah. All right,
So you are
Jennifer.
waiting for someone to tell you that don't litter before you would not do it. No. Plastic, goes along with 500 to 1,000 years before it decomposes. Even
Yeah,
with that, it turns into microplastics.
yeah.
So if
That's
probably
not safe.
rather daily, You drink water like 5 sachets, 10 sachets, and you just drop it anywhere. Imagine we have 200 people like yourself. Imagine the society and the environment that
Yeah.
we are building. Okay, so it is a call to keep that we all should have. Let's have this in our mindset. Whatever I do today has a way of affecting me tomorrow, and even generation unborn. So
Yeah.
anything that we do today, we should consider the generation
The
yet
generation
unborn.
yet
And I
unborn.
believe, I mean,
Amazing,
per our
Jennifer.
little activities and our little initiative, we can help the environment. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was so insightful. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Now we've gotten to the climax of the webinar. It's been so amazing from the beginning. We had amazing guest speakers, Richmond, Jennifer, and Abdul. Unfortunately, Abdul couldn't join us for so long, and we are going to get into it right after the webinar. We hope he's okay. Yeah. Now we've learned so much. We've gotten to understand so much from ocean health conservation, and even to getting entrepreneurial when it comes to ocean health, and then every other thing. One thing Richmond kept mentioning was about policymakers, and I think this is something that we need to take. Like we need to take extra approaches in actually in the near future when we need to keep on relying on ocean policymakers to actually make it work for us. Thank you so much. I would like to thank my guests because you've been so helpful, you've been so insightful. We really appreciate you and have a good day. We'll see you in the next one
Thank you.
in the box.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richmond.